history of Highcliffe Castle certainly has a story to tell.
Well, the first house was built here by John Stuart, 3rd Earl of Bute in 1773, much nearer the sea than this one. A second house was built after that one had been demolished on this site by Dr. James Penlees. And this house was built in the 1830s by Lord Stuart de Rothesay, who was the grandson of Lord Bute.
In the early 1900s, Highcliffe Castle was a very popular accommodation to many significant people.
The most famous of the people who rented it, of course, was Gordon Selfridge from London. But other notable people also did stay here. Lady Curzon, who actually used this very room as her bedroom, they partitioned off part of it, was also here.
As well as an impressive number of royal visitors. Lord Stuart built this palace with decorative stone he had found in Paris, whilst as a British ambassador during the 1920s and 30s. He then brought it across the Channel and casted it up to the land, where he employed an architect to construct the castle. In 1967, the castle was bought for about £21,000 by 3 local businessmen who had plans for development.
Unfortunately, they discovered it was Grade 1 listed rather later, and as a consequence there was quite a lot of vandalism because it was left. Fires occurred. There were 2 in 1967 and 1968.
Nobody can really put their finger on the spot and say how the fire occurred, but it did, and the roof burnt off completely. Then this was the start of the downfall, because the second fire was a couple of years later, beyond the doors.
Christchurch Council could afford to do no more than protect it from further vandalism.
And the castle then just got left. Because it had already had fire damage, it became worse and worse and got into a very, very poor state.
Despite the poor conditions of the castle, the public did not give up hope.
It was the local community who formed an action group and they saved the castle because they felt even in 1980 that it was very important, and it was a very good thing that they did. This is the only house now that's left to give some idea of what it was like living here in Highcliffe 100 years ago and before. So it's very important to the community.
The castle has changed to being what was at one time a bit of a liability into a bit of a jewel in the council's crown.
It's owned and run by Christchurch Borough Council, and it is run as a wedding venue, an extremely successful wedding venue, and that wedding venue makes the money for the general upkeep and the running of a small body of permanent staff, and there's about 80 to 100 volunteers.
There's much more work still to be done. The next phase of work, which we hope to commence shortly, is about another £4 million worth. It's a long 40-year programme. Completion date is intended to be 2054.
As you can see, there is a great wealth of history here at Highcliffe Castle.